Welcome to the Magical Human Show. This is I, Claire the Oily Witch, and this is,
June Tranmer Wellbeing, or also Wildflowers Rule.
which is a great name. Why have you chosen Wildflowers Rule? Although they do.
Yeah, they do, because I'm a flower essence practitioner and I grow wild things in my back alleyway and in my garden, in my yard. So yeah, it's my name for my new Zoom workplace because I had to call it something.
Love it.
Yeah, thank you. But I just want for everybody to know that's who I am really on here. So,
Wildflowers Rule. I think we should both have names like that, where we're just like, we can't really see who we are. We're just like what we
yeah.
represent. Mine will just be, yeah, the divine feminine kicks ass.
Oh, I like it. Like
And
it.
so
Yeah.
last night I drew the golden apple card, which is beautiful at Circle, and it's the Queen Codes, her story and healing the distortion. And
Oh,
interestingly, this symbol here is on my vision board, which I made back in February. So when I saw
wow.
that, I was like, how weird, how random. And also, I've been gold crazy for this kind of lighter time of year, and I covered my vision board in gold leaf. And that card
Wow.
symbolizes the return of gold to the divine feminine, because gold is the balancer, and gold has been used for distortion and greed. And so by the reclaiming the gold, it's reclaiming the harmony and the balance. And all my meditations seem to be very gold, like inviting people to collect their, like to surround themselves in gold, connect themselves to gold for that, for the purposes of balancing and harmony and protection and abundance and all the good things, not for greed and manipulation. So gold.
Smart.
So in fact,
I
maybe I'll
love
just
it.
rename, you'll be Wildflowers Royal and I'll just be like gold.
Gold.
Need I say more? Just
That's
been
enough.
absolutely sifting through vintage trying to find gold dresses.
Oh, you might have to wear gold all the time after this.
I do wear a lot of gold, and I'm quite happy with that, June.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
here we are. We've just gone through the solar eclipse, which happened on the 12th of August, which was 2 days ago.
Mhm.
And the solar eclipse was when Mars went into Cancer and the new hazel moon. And then yesterday we had the sun, the moon, no, Mercury and Jupiter all in Leo. So there was this whole kind of massive power up of gold and love and courage and all of these things. And I personally felt that the eclipse felt very much to me like life kind of blew up in my face on Tuesday night, and the beginning of Wednesday was pretty difficult. And then it kind of calmed down. It felt like I'd gone through something quite existential. So by the time I hit
Yeah.
yesterday, I was feeling like I really had gone through some kind of portal. What about you?
Yeah, I got really dizzy during the eclipse. I was like just pottering around waiting for it to get dark so I could watch the meteor showers and it was like, oh, I don't feel steady. I'm not hungry. Although I did have something to eat, but I wasn't like that kind of blood sugar dropping kind of dizzy. And I wasn't drunk. It was just, yeah, it felt really, really, and it lasted for the 2 hours between 5 and 7-ish that time on Tuesday. But I've had a lot going on. It was my son's birthday on Tuesday, and I've been kind of sending him lots of love and worrying about him in a way because he's all by himself now in London. His girls have gone to Sweden already ahead of him, and he's just left behind tidying up the last bits and pieces. And I was talking to my daughter, his sister, um, earlier, and saying how actually he kind of likes being on his own, although she said he's probably lonely. And I went, yeah, he probably is, but he's also quite happy to just potter and just not have anything else to think about. Just, although I think he's still actually working. Um, so we're keeping our correspondence with him to a minimum because we know he has to focus. And we're just waiting to hear when he sets off in the truck with all the remaining possessions. Because it's going to take him 4 days to get there with his dad driving, which is
Wow.
another whole story, which I can tell you in a little bit if you like. It's hilarious. My conversation
Just tell me,
father.
why is he migrated to Sweden? Because is that where her family's coming from, or is because he's had enough of the
Yes,
UK?
well, both. Both, I should think. No, they don't want to bring a child up in London right now, and um, if anybody can possibly leave, probably that's a really good idea. I'm not saying run for the hills, but um, they were in a nice part as well. It wasn't too bad, but it's just so different where they've gone to. They're in the countryside. There's a few other houses there. There are a few flats, but they're in a house in a block of new houses, just 2 stories, instead of being third floor up in a windless flat that got all the sun all afternoon and just roasted them. And it's obviously going to be a lot cooler up there, but they do get hot in the summer, and it's midnight sun, land of the midnight sun. So, the sun barely sets up there in the summer, and it barely comes up in the winter. So it's going to be a land of contrast. But they've been there a lot. I mean, Matilda grew up there, my son's partner, and they've been there with my granddaughter a lot. And she just loves it there. And her other grandparents are there. So, it's
Sad
gonna
for
be really
you though, June.
well, it's at the heart tug time. It is. It really, really is. Um, but yeah, as they say, I mean, I've been saying to people, they say I'm really welcome, but do they mean it? Do they really?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I
But it's
think
that
they do.
transition,
Yeah.
isn't it? And Mars going into Cancer is the energy into family. What gives you emotional security? Like, where do you want to be? All this kind of Saturn and Neptune. It's like, find your place, be where you're in flow. It's like all the invitations that the planets are giving us on the energy front is like, sort yourself out, where is the best place for you? And I can fully appreciate why London is not a desirable place to raise a child in today's life. I don't even think many places in the South are particularly ideal for raising children. In fact, I don't think raising children in the UK is a good idea, or America, because everything is plastic food, plastic entertainment, and these children are, going off their rockers. My children included. And everyone I speak
Yeah.
to seems to be having a similar story of just kind of such dysregulation, and disassociation with their bodies and things like that. It's not good.
No, I've got quite a few patients who are children. As you know, I treat children as one of my niche areas, and they are just feeling it so much, the intensity of the changes right now and stuff. They know that stuff is wrong. Everything just feels wrong. And they're all kind of like, I can't put my finger on it, but everything's wrong. And yeah, I mean, they've been so badly pushed in the wrong direction, in an unnatural direction.
Yeah.
Surveillance and just school control, control, control. You can't go to the toilet when you need to go you have to go when they say you can. It's all that. And I'm not saying that the school she's going to is going to be that much better, but it's
Oh, I'm
different.
sure it
And
will.
it's going to be exciting. And she's learning. She knows Swedish already, but I mean, probably not as fluent as her colleagues
As
in
she will be.
she will
Not as
be in two
fluid.
minutes. She'll be just like, woof, yeah.
Exactly, and the way it goes. But yeah, and I was just thinking when you were talking about the children there, is that in the past we would have had world wars to say, oh, that's why I feel like this, because there's a war on, because this is a completely different war, because this is kind of a spiritual war. on so many different levels. And so it's not immediately apparent to the naked eye as to why exactly we all feel so unsettled. And it
Mm.
is because everything is unsettled on purpose, because it's got to be the tower. Everything is blowing up before it can kind of rise again clean from the ashes, because we have got to the Sodom and Gomorrah stage. And that is revealed every day with the different kind of tricks and behaviors that people are being exposed for in the media.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal what's coming out all the time. And of course, the kids are picking up on the earth changes as well. And I think a lot of people are becoming more telepathic, more sensitive to energies in general. So, people are learning that they're not just a human body. They're a soul and they're like, "Oh, I remember I'm here for something. What is it I'm supposed to be doing?" And that's what
Mm.
people are trying to work out. And the kids are like, I'm really not supposed to be sitting in the classroom for 8 hours a day. This is ridiculous.
It
And
is, yeah, learning
yeah,
stuff that I'm never going to apply.
yeah,
It's
because
like,
somebody else said so. It's not stuff I've chosen to learn because they're naturally inquisitive. They will learn no matter what.
yeah,
They absorb their environment and then now they're realizing, ooh, I'm absorbing all the wrong stuff. Ooh, ugh.
it's
Feels like
true.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because, as you said, people are being activated. It's like, what am I here for? What's my purpose? I feel there's something more I should be doing. And that part of it is brilliant because we don't need, we would like to facilitate as many people as possible's awakenings. That's what we are doing, June and I, in our work. And it's good to see it and it's deeply rewarding. I guess the point of this show is just telling people, hey, you're not going crazy. There's a lot of
Mhm.
good reasons why you feel like you feel. For instance, my latest rant about the heat waves that we keep having, they know how to make it rain. They know. They do that. And now they know how to keep the skies dry. They're doing that. Why are they doing that? So that they can turn around and say, hey, listen, we're going to cover the sun now because you've seen that it absolutely scorches the land. And because the land is so fucked and the farmers can't actually use it, hey, it's not worth anything. So we can do what we want on it. Maybe we'll do some fracking. Maybe we'll build some more houses. Maybe we'll do this. But whatever we will do, we'll make sure that there's no food for you to buy in the UK, that you have to go and buy your food elsewhere. We're going to take away your economy and we're going to turn you into slaves. Just
Mhm.
my view on
And
it.
trying to grow your own is really hard work.
Well, when
It's
there's a
not,
hose
it's not
pipe ban, how the hell are we growing our own? It's like, how do you do it? Have you got a hose pipe ban down up there?
maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we've definitely got one down here. I mean, my grass is 50 shades of beige. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, the grass is, but the grass will come back the minute
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
drop of
But
rain.
loads of my trees and plants are dying.
Well, I'm sure I don't really care if they're listening to this because they are anyway. I'm watering my plants. I don't give a shit.
No, I am too, but I have to be careful I'm not using a hose pipe because my neighbors are not, reliable.
Okay.
So
I'm using a hose pipe.
I'm not using a hose pipe. I'm using tap water in
Hmm.
a watering can, but I can't keep my whole garden going. So there's been quite a few casualties, and it's just like, well, and also the hours in the day. But going back to the point of people trying to grow their own and like these small holdings, this is just taking them out. It's like, it's making it virtually impossible. And it's making the animals that they're husbanding also deeply uncomfortable. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
And as someone
They
wrote in
were
one of my posts, they could simply, spray silver oxide or nitrate into the sky or something like that, and that would make it rain. That's what they do in Dubai. It's like, they know what they're doing.
hmm. And then what we'll end up with is floods and everything will wash away. Um,
Yeah, because it's so dry, the roots are all
yeah,
dead, so it's not holding the earth together, and then it just
yeah.
washes away. And then again, oh, the land is useless. You don't need the land while we frack all over it.
We'll get minerals out of it for our data centers.
Yes,
Yay.
absolutely. Yeah, screw you. And then you'll all have
We
brain
all
cancer
need the
because we're
water
too easy.
anyway. We've got to have our data so we can do this. So we can actually do this. So, I'm reconsidering my involvement with social media, as you know, and trying to work out the best way to stay out of the clutches of being involved with all of that, because every choice we make, we're either supporting people who are committing genocide or we're supporting people who are ruining the planet. And I feel like we don't have to blame ourselves. We don't have to take it all on, but we can do things. We don't have to feel helpless either. That's my point, and that's how I try and explain it to people. They were predicting this back in May. I saw posts, so tiresome, in May saying there's no the farmers are having trouble with their harvest. Well, who harvests in May, for crying out loud? Harvest is now,
Well,
not,
they went early. They had to go in the middle of July because the fields were so screwed.
yeah, yeah,
And
but they,
they've lost. I mean, apparently sweet corn's decimated. Not that I'm sad to see the back of sweet corn, but
I'm
it's
really fond of
animal
sweet
fodder.
corn, so I can't say I grew up with sweet corn and I love it, but I tried to grow some and it didn't really work. I've
No,
got a top with no cobs on it. It looks pretty.
yeah, but it doesn't have any carbs on it. But that's the
Uh,
whole thing about, I know what you're saying, but I feel like I need to remain in, well, I have to remain in order to talk to the people still on the in.
mhm.
So I'm the
Mhm.
spy.
It's fine line. It's a fine line. It's all about balance, like you just said.
It is
We have to
balanced.
balance. We have to balance. And I'm working on a new platform for my own little podcasty things. And I want to interview people and share that with people. And it may not be as many people as on the other platforms, but I think gradually people will be migrating. And I just want to be a little bit ahead of the curve, as I usually am, as my daughter points out.
You usually, yeah, June, absolutely. And I know many people that would agree with you 100% and are agreeing with you and are doing it. And it's important that there's people at every stage along the Maginot Line to
Yeah.
make sure that basically every part's covered. It's like you've got your part and you're there and you hold space, and that's what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, we're there for them. So, in terms of Hazel, people, if you want to know about Hazel and this new moon, then the
Mhm.
energy around this is wisdom and knowledge. And we're coming towards the second harvest now. We've had the first harvest, Lammas, and second harvest is autumn equinox, the harvest of the berries. If there's any berries left, I've already got all my
Well,
elderberries and made my syrups because they're
they're
already
already
out.
out. I know, and the brambles also.
Yeah, brambles haven't been so success. Well, the raspberries are okay in my garden. The brambles haven't been quite so successful, but yes,
We,
the brambles are
we've
out
got
as
tons
well.
of brambles all over the place. Yeah, it's
And so
mad.
it's grab it while you can, basically,
Yeah.
because they'll be really nice and sweet because they've had so much sun.
Mm.
Um, but yes, it's the ninth Celtic tree moon. So this is by nine, it is the number of knowledge and wisdom and higher knowledge, basically, and being able to step beyond. And hazel is the divining tree, so it helps to divine the kind of deeper emotions and draw them up to the surface. So September or this time onwards until kind of it ends will be a time of kind of emotional divination, really. And with all the heart leading energy that started this with Leo and Mars energy in Cancer, home, and Jupiter being about ex heart expansion, it's really about sorting out relationships with self, really, and then others. Always self first, then others, to be more kind of aligned with the truth of your heart. Now, nothing's going to happen quickly because it doesn't. It happens gradually. And but Uranus is there in Gemini, bringing those eureka moments that come flashing out of nowhere and go, "Bing! Did you think this? Oh my God, yes." Those moments. So do look out for
Yeah.
those.
Well, exactly. And as you're talking about the heart, I spotted, see, this is why it's going to be really hard for me to leave some of the social media, because I'm learning so much and I'm saving all these things. I'm thinking, where am I going to put them? I am going to have to let go. And that's the other thing that's going on, of course, is a lot of letting
Letting
go.
go.
Again, endless theme on here, but it just is an endless thing. I mean, I keep having little fires and probably scaring the neighbors, thinking
There's
I'm going
nothing
to
left in June's house, everyone. She's burnt it all.
burn down and burnt the neighbors down. It's all gone. I'm not near trees. I'm not nowhere near trees or grass. Um, Little terrace house in the middle of the city, but it's I've got a fire pit and I just keep burning old words that I've written that are no longer relevant to me. So they're all going and my past life is going. Gradually I'm shedding that identity as the manager of a team of people doing different healing modalities. And it's really hard. People are still asking me, I say to people, there's this thing going on if you want to go to it. Well, what have you got in mind? I'm going, I have nothing in mind. I'm not going. But if you want to go, go. Here's this thing. And so that's kind of what's happening with that. But the other interesting thing is this discussion I had with my ex about the moon. Oh my word. I mean, I could have stopped it at any moment. And when you think, I really should just shut up now, but you can't.
So
Can't.
tell us what happened.
It was a message to him. Started off, I bet you're really looking forward to your road trip with your son because he's driving with him for 4 hours whenever it happens. He's doing the driving. So I'm slightly nervous about this because my son's life is in this man's hands. And yeah. So anyway, I didn't say anything about that, but I just said, I bet you're really looking forward to it. And, be great. I'd love it if you could get there before his birthday. This was last week, but it's unlikely to happen because it's, the new moon and all that stuff. And he goes, well, I fail to see what the moon's got anything to do with anything. And I went, okay, could stop there, could say, yeah, you're right, never mind. Sorry, I mentioned it. Nah, not a bit of it. Mars in my first house. I'm going, right. You're just like, you're not getting away with that. I said, don't you notice that people go a bit funny on a full moon? Because all the people I know who work in A&E say A&E is full of accidents and things going on, things kicking off on a full moon. What does he do? He turns around. Elena thinks he's done this on purpose, and I think quite possibly he has done. He sent me a link to BBC Science, and I just like
Yes.
two red rags to the bull here. So I went, surely you don't believe anything the BBC says anymore, and or the scientists. Really? Are you quite? I said, these are people on the ground who see things with their own eyes. Oh, he says, well, give me peer-reviewed science any day over hearsay. And I just went, oh, for Christ's sake. So, it just went on like that. And so then I said, yeah, well, this isn't a full moon anyway. It's a new moon, so never mind. But I said you could ask the people in the who run bars because there's more fights in bars on the full moon. It's a known thing. Psychiatric nurses, again, more kickoffs in the mental health hospitals. And what was the other thing? Policemen all know this. They know. Yeah.
But not your husband and probably not mine.
Yeah. Science. Got to listen to. I said, you really want to listen to people who sit in a room all by themselves doing statistics to people who are on the ground with real people.
I
Okay, that's
feel
fine.
I feel deeply sorry that there are people out there like these type of people that are so narrow-minded and so statistic and evidence driven because they don't have any magic in their worlds. Their worlds are so black and white. And it's sad because behind it all is a fear. Because if they start to think beyond what they can see in black and white,
Yeah.
then things are they're so 50 shades of grey that makes them feel anxious, makes them feel
Mm,
ungrounded. So I have to keep
Mm.
bringing it back down, bringing it back down. And it's just like, it doesn't work like that. You want your head to be like a funnel like that, not like a kind of, not like the upside down where it's kind of, a tiny little thing like that. You want it to be like that, not
Right.
that. It's like,
That's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good image. Although on the other hand, I have to say he takes most beautiful nature photographs.
because he's really good at detail. But he's taking what he's seeing because he can believe in that because he can see it. It's that whole argument between what people can see and what they
Well,
seeing is
that's
believing. And it's like, no, seeing is not believing. It's like believing is believing, and believing is trust, and seeing is one dimensional.
but that's why I'd love to go and plunk him in the middle of an accident emergency and let him see what's really happening.
Well, he wouldn't see it, I don't think, in the way that you would hope him to. I've really
Maybe
had to
not.
drop this because I
Mm,
really recognize that some people just will. It's like when people before were talking about people being at different levels. It's like, oh, I've come through the fifth gateway, I've transcended the seventh gateway, you're just still 3D. But there are people that are just kind of, they are there and they're very happy with being there because being slightly over here means there's too many questions about what they have going on here, and that
yeah.
creates too much anxiety and fear, so they have to stay here. And it's fine. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it is honestly like shouting in the wind when you're talking to them because it doesn't matter what you say, they still will not hear you. I have a 50 million examples of this in my marriage. It's just like, what? How can you be so blind to the
Yeah.
big picture, but apparently you can. So,
Well, what really the end result of this was it was like, okay, I'm really not sorry I'm not with you anymore.
I know exactly at the end of this, it's like, I made the right decision. We are
Absolutely.
so on different pages right now, but there is so many people feeling like that, June, that are
Mm,
just like, and this whole period of time is relationship orientated. It is
mm.
people recognizing they're just in different places. And the biggest thing I hear is the grass is not greener. The grass is not greener. And I'm like, no, the grass may not be greener, but it's certainly cleaner. So I would rather be
I love
on
that.
the side where the grass is clean, it's not necessarily more green, but there's not all this clutter of kind of like, give me proof. Damn. It's just like, no, I don't need that simplicity and peace. It's like,
Mm.
leave me be. And I think that this is
No,
the women are feeling like this. It's like there's so many
yeah.
women that are just absolutely sick to death of small-minded, earthbound
Nonsense.
men.
Yeah, nonsense.
I'm going
Yeah,
to come
well,
across as a man hater. I'm so glad we don't have a big audience because I can say this shit and not worry about being taken down because, maybe
yeah.
five
No,
people will
nobody
watch
cares.
this.
Nobody cares. It's
And they're all in
some
love with you anyway, June, so it's fine.
oh, some men are twats. And I kept saying that about him to his daughter. She said, he's not a twat. I said, well, I think he is a twat. And I didn't say that to his face. I mean, I was
Oh,
typing.
I go straight for the face. You're a
It's
twat.
all there. It's all there. He can go back and read it again and consider it. But you know what's really interesting? My Leo is partially in the seventh house of relationships. And the point at where all these conjunctions were happening, around 21 degrees or whatever it is, right next to my Pluto, which apparently Pam Gregory was saying everybody born between 1950 and 1954 is really feeling this in the Pluto feels because that's we've all got that going on. And it's
Zeus.
whoa, yeah, yeah.
Have you
Here's
got
your dark
Pluto in
side.
Leo then? You got Pluto in
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. In the seventh
Ah,
house.
yeah, 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 yeah. So death and rebirth, shadow,
Yeah, kill him.
or do, or be glad you're divorced from him.
Yeah,
Um,
well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating really how looking at your birth chart is so good. And if
oh,
you haven't got your birth chart, I'd urge you to get one done by Claire, or you
thank
can
you,
go and
June.
find one at Astrodinst and do it yourself, but you'll never have the explanations of somebody. You need somebody to guide you through it and just keep going back to it. Just
I
keep
know
going
it's
like this.
fascinating. I'm still learning stuff off my own chart all the time. And
Mm.
also, it makes sense of what is going on, kind of. Yeah, I've got Pluto in my first house, so I'm having a real death and
Oh,
rebirth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
wow.
I know.
So
But
that's
my
kind of your generation, isn't it?
yes,
Wow.
and
Let
it's
me
funny.
look.
I've just had a meeting with somebody about their chart, and they were saying, oh, there's so many of us around this age, and we're all in our early 50s that are going, What's going on with this? I'm not happy. I need to sort things out. I need to get my life more aligned. It's like, yeah, rebirth happening here.
Well, well, this is very interesting because I have Aquarius, my ascendant, in my first house, partially in my first house. And my daughter does as well. That is
And
so
Pluto is in
interesting.
Aquarius.
Her Pluto is not.
No, but Pluto at the moment in a transit is in Aquarius. It's
Oh,
four
right.
degrees retrograde Aquarius. And my first house is covers Capricorn and Aquarius.
Well, the ones in their 40s, their Pluto is in um, Scorpio.
Yeah, mine was in Libra.
Mm,
Mm.
uh, interesting. Interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating because Pluto's in a sign for about 20 years.
Yeah. Like it's a generation in a way, although generations are a bit like artificial,
And then we've
just
got Chiron in Taurus at the moment, which is all about
yeah.
people finding their self-worth. So we've gone
Yes.
from finding out who you are and then finding value in it is where we are now. It's like that kind of whole kind of energy around that. Lilith is still screaming her way through Sagittarius, going, Be free, find your spiritual truth. The North Node is at 29 degrees, the anaretic degree of Aquarius again, and it's about to slip back into Pisces. So
Yes.
that's a massive karmic kind of turning point of like, look at the collective, look at the community you hang out with, the people you're friends with, make sure you're aligned. And we know that you must be around people that have the same energy because then it enhances your energy rather than drains your energy. So the ripples you make are more positive for you and the universe because you're better aligned.
Mm.
Ripples go out for three, come back for three. This is what a surfer friend told me with waves. They go out for the count of three, then they come back in, and then they go further.
Oh,
And three is the magic number of change, the number of fire. Leo is fire. The sun is solar. We've had Lion's Gate, 8, 8. And the Lion's Gate, right? I did a
yeah.
ceremony, Lammas Lion's Gate. Lion's
Mm.
Gate is based on Sirius and the Earth and the Sun being in alignment, right? The
Yes.
Egyptians saw this as almost like the beginning of their new year because it meant that the Nile would flood when Sirius was in that position, right?
Yeah.
Sirius is the dog star. Dog is God. So they saw Sirius as God, the thing to worship because it was the start of the new year. Interesting, isn't it? Rather than the sun, whereas the Romans went to Apollo. I worship the sun. I'm a sun follower as well as a moon follower. They're my luminaries. I worship both of them. But it's interesting because yeah, God, dog, and all of that kind of energy of it's quite masculine, but Sirius as a planet is the water planet of healers and mermaids and dolphins. So I just wondered what you thought of all that.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And I'm just trying to find where mine is in my chart because I've put loads of dwarf planets all over the place in mine now. I've gone on to the Astrodynst site and you can get that all
Yeah, you
added in.
can.
Really good. Um, but there's Eris, the troublemaker. Although it's people's reactions to her. She doesn't intend to cause trouble. She's just really being herself again. She's really prominent right now, isn't she? I think. And Ixion, what was it Pam Gregory said about Ixion?
I don't
Can't
go
remember.
down into that detail yet.
There's that. Yeah, it's fascinating, but
I
I've
haven't
kind of
listened to
lost
that
it.
lot for a while. Mind you, I haven't had time. I've been too busy.
Sure
I haven't had
enough.
time for much, which is fine.
No,
You said you're closing down social media. I feel for me, it's in the background and I do it when I feel like it, but it's not a driver. And I don't need to show up consistently. I need to show up when I feel like I want to show up or can show up, and that's absolutely fine. Don't want a cult, don't want loads of followers. That thing I put up about the sun the other day was taken down before it even got up. And that's the second
Oh,
one that's happened to me. That's on TikTok. And somebody was saying to me, yeah, they did that to you, but they let Perez Hilton be on live TikTok for 35 minutes while he tried to kill himself. It's like, what is going on there? The distortion is extraordinary.
it
Um,
is.
and that's what's kind of going on because no one is allowed to think for themselves. And I guess that's what, well, we know that's what we're encouraging you to do on here is like think,
Yeah.
look beyond and find your own truth, basically. And you know you found the truth because the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle just slot nicely into place. Oh, I'll tell you something interesting. I'll change
Mm.
the names. So, and this person will know I'm talking about them. So I past life, somebody came to see me for an abundance issue and like had loads of problems. And they had been to see somebody else who told them a past life story that at the time they hadn't resonated with at all, but they felt that they should believe it because it was coming from a therapist. And what happened to them subsequently was a disaster play out of the past life that they'd been told. So the karma from this false life just played out and it really played out. I'm talking to the tune of like over 50K's worth of liability and court problems and all this kind of stuff. Has been really horrendous for this person after the last 6 years. So when they came to see me, I just thought, I wonder if that past life they got told about was actually really their past life. And no, it wasn't. And
Oh,
it was the point of it was always going to happen this to prove to this person who was always looking for external validation that they should stop trusting other people's voices over their own because they knew at the time it didn't fit, but they thought, I've got to make this fit. And then they've lived in the karma of that being real. They believed it so much that they reaped all this horror. And so we undid that and we hopefully put them back on their timeline. They look about 10 years younger. Um, and
amazing.
it's that thing of the power of your mind. So that's one story. Another story is someone coming to me, they might watch this as well, saying, what do I do? What do I do? I'm thinking I need to incorporate more, spiritual practice. And I've said this kind of story before. And then when I found out what they did for a living, I said, but you're writing spells on a daily basis. Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. And it's like
Mm.
what the Saturn in Neptune conjunction is all about is saying, put your spirituality into your daily life. Don't have to have a revolutionary change of your daily life. You just have to add in your spiritual practice so it becomes part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, very wise words. Absolutely right. Just on the social media thing, like I said, I'm going to find it difficult to let go of some of the things that I follow because I get such a lot of wisdom and
So
stuff.
why do it? Why let go?
Well, I'm going to add another platform that's less, you know. But
Do
anyway,
if it gives you
anyway,
pleasure.
this one is really worth watching. Glam Ham Radio on Instagram, and she's also on X. She's English, but she lives in the United States. And she's one of those women I mean, there are several of these women out there right now. I just love their forensic brains. They are just going for the detail of, I'm investigating this, and here's what I found. And it's just like, whoa. But she did two things just the other day, and she might have been taken down by now, but I have saved it. See if it's still there. Um, she did one thing which was asking the question, was there anything funny going on around about the time of the Colombian earthquake? And lo and behold, there was. There was weather balloons managed by Panama and Colombia and America going on, a thing, some summit thing, some military thing. Interestingly, right before this earthquake, the Colombian president had just been sworn in a town that is not the capital, but is was the epicenter of the earthquake shortly after he got sworn in. Bloody weird. Anyway, the other
Or
thing, but
not, or
well,
not.
it's becoming typical and like, oh yeah, well, there's another one. Yeah, but the other thing that she did, and I'll send you the link, she did this heart meditation, and she said the thing about putting our hands together over our hearts is that there's an electrical charge.
Electromagnetic charge.
Yeah. I had never thought about that. And
Well, the hands are chakras,
she
brains.
put words on the screen. She said, just read these words and send love and support to the people affected by the earthquakes in both Colombia and Venezuela. Yeah. So it was beautiful. Magic. Yeah,
June will
it
put the
was.
link on there, and hopefully everyone will manage to keep June on the Magical Human Show, even though she's trying to disappear off and become non-traceable wildflower wild. So we're going to keep her tamed on here, we hope. But I think that's it for this week because we've been on here for quite a while, and
Yeah,
June wants to go and lie down, and I need to go and get on with what I'm getting on with next. So much love to you all, and we'll see you in September. Blessed be.
indeed. Blessed be.